Welcome to Exposing the Hidden Reality. I'm Annette, career reinvention coach and caffeine-powered human.
And I'm Sandra, women's life and leadership coach. I bring the woo to our conversations.
And this is the podcast where we call out all the unspoken stuff, biases, outdated expectations, and all the things women navigate in work and in life.
Yes. We bring to light what we see happening. Smart, capable women stuck in the same patterns because no one really talks about what's going on.
We'll bring some difficult truths.
Welcome, insightful experts.
And sprinkle in a little chaos and fun.
It wouldn't be us if we didn't, right?
It's true.
So whether you're walking the dog or tuning in during your commute, we're glad you're here. Let's do this.
Let's do this. You want to do the let's do this together? Like 3, 2, 1, let's do this. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Hey, good morning, everybody. Sandra and I are so happy that you joined us this morning because we have a really big powerhouse of a woman, Shelly Cannon, joining us this morning. And Shelly, I feel like I want to tell everybody what I already know about you, but how about if I just turn it over to you and let you give us the introduction because nobody knows you better than you do.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you guys for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Okay, so what am I? I am an entrepreneur. I'm running 4 businesses right now, and I am a personal trainer, a life coach. I do real estate. And I have a unique background that brought me to where I am, which gives me a lot of insight. I coach a lot of cancer patients. I'm right now fighting stage 4 breast cancer. And let's see what else. Yeah, it is a lot. Like it's really hard to put into like a succinct sentence or two, but so yeah, the reason I'm here to talk today is because I wanted to talk about, I spent over half my life, 25 years in a career that on paper was amazing. And I did love it. You know, I learned a lot. I gained a lot from it, but it got to a point where it wasn't serving me anymore. I was working with my ex-husband. He was going through some anger issues. It was really actually like detrimental to my health. And I kept staying because I felt obligations to everyone there. You know, like I started there when I was very young. And I mean, it was the same like 9 people for 25 years. Like we were a very close-knit family. So like I felt obligated to stay. I felt, how are they going to live without me? I was the COO at a wealth management firm. Like I ran everything. And I just felt like a lot of guilt if I were to leave, you know, but it really wasn't, it wasn't something I was waking up and getting excited about. You know, I dreaded, sometimes I'd sit in the parking lot in my car and like, I have to go in there, like try to pep talk myself into going in. And like, I knew at that point that I really should find something else. And so I started like putting together some side stuff to try to like have a plan B. But I was actually forced into it when I found out I had stage 4 breast cancer. It was metastasized throughout my lungs, pleura, diaphragm, 3 of my bones. Like it was everywhere, and it really forced me to retire. And when I did, you know, now that I've been retired for a while, I call it retired. I'm like actually chasing passions and learning and loving life more than ever. I realized how I should have really left a long time ago. And I wanted to use that experience to help to encourage people, you know, to be brave enough to leave. Also, you know, maybe some ideas for how to leave and what to get into. So I have some like actual actionable things that can actually be used. But yeah, I just wanted to help people not go through what I went through, not have a diagnosis to push you out of this. Like maybe do it of your own volition when you're ready.
Yeah, when you get that first feeling, right? We shouldn't ignore that. That's an integral part of our body. And we have the puppy on screen.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm in love already. So yes, it's completely fine. Do you want to introduce the puppy?
Oh, yes. Hi. This is Taki. Say hi.
Hi, Taki.
He thinks he's small enough to be a lap dog, but here we are. Sorry,
He's
go
so
on.
cute. He's like, let's just cuddle, Mom.
Yes.
I don't what you don't care that all these other people are watching. I love it. Well, I was saying that I think it's true that many times we need a push to do something that we really want because women are full of feelings of obligation. I don't think you're alone in that, Shelly. We do things all the time because we think we should or we have done it before and we can't say no now. But when we get that little feeling, that little inside voice that tells us we shouldn't be here any longer, you're encouraging people to really listen and lean into that and say, what's next for me? What's something else that I could do?
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I felt that so powerfully when you said I would sit in the parking lot and think about, do I really have to go in? Oh, yeah. Boy.
Yeah, really rough.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one who listened to you speak and said, man, I feel that deeply. And I can say from my own experience, there's a lot of pressure to stay, not just because of obligation.
Well, finances.
Exactly.
It feels safe.
Career-wise, speak about that for a little bit.
Yeah, so that was another thing. I had gotten other job offers, considered a lot, but I started as a teenager at this firm and built my way up to partner, and there was no way I was going to make that amount of money somewhere else. Like nothing that they could offer even came close. So what I ended up having to do was multiple side jobs to try to really get me to a place where I'd feel comfortable stepping away. And then also, cutting expenses that really don't matter until I got, into a rhythm and got an income flowing in that made sense. So like, I haven't had my nails done in years. I don't have any desire to, I don't need to. And now I can even justify it because it's a toxic load and I'm supposed to omit that right now, whatever. But if people really add that up, I mean, that is a lot of money per month that's just going to something that doesn't really matter, and I get wanting to look good and put together, and that's part of feeling good about yourself. I totally get that. For me though, my nails really have nothing to do with that. Like I can make up for it elsewhere, whatever. It was just an expense and a time suck that really didn't make a lot of sense to me. So stuff like that, like to omit some things that really were more of a drag than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So reprioritizing what you need, what you want, what's next. Working with people on their careers every day of my career, I also tell people to get a list of what you want, right? So when you're thinking about a new job, we always think money's on the top of that list, right? Oh, I need to have this level of compensation. I can't take a step back. I can't do this. But let's talk about what you want. So is $10,000 more important than being able to actually decompress during the weekend and not work all the time? Is a 40-hour week worth $10,000 less than a 60-hour week? So getting really clear on what you're doing now and what you don't want and what you want next can really help you decide, okay, having my nails done is a non-negotiable for me, or it's not. Put it in its proper place and then make decisions based on that instead of based on a lack or a feeling of lack, and make it more based out of abundance. Like, this is what I want, so I'm going to go after it. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did.
Yeah. And I think part of what really pushed me into new avenues and whatever is that I've always had this passion for learning. I have a list on my board of like 15 different courses I'm enrolled in. And I'm always just dropping in and learning and coming back out. It's like, and that I wasn't getting a lot of learning in at my firm. I'd been there for 25 years. It was just like I was on autopilot. It wasn't lighting me up anymore, and then you add in all like some of the social stuff from the ex being angry. And it was just like, this is just not the place for me. So I went into some things that I had no idea about. I actually started with things that I was passionate about. So I've always been a power lifter. Well, I was always been an athlete. I was a bodybuilder, then a power lifter, a personal trainer. So I always kind of had that in the back just to fall back on. Like, if nothing else, I could go into a gym and train people.
Right.
And it was something that really didn't take a lot of effort to like learn or build. It was just something that I did because I liked doing it anyway, and I would go to the gym at night after work anyway.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a little safety net. And then I started wanting to learn about new different things like real estate, which I have no experience in. And I took like a crash course and learned how to flip houses remotely.
Mm.
And I did one in St. Louis remotely. And I used the money out of my HELOC. I did not have money. I had a HELOC and I cashed out because in St. Louis, it's like $40,000 to $50,000 to buy a house. So I was like, okay, where can this money have the best impact? Where can I get the most out of it? So I did that. I had a whole team. I have a management team there. They rebuilt the whole thing, and now it's bringing me in $1,500 a month, just because I wanted to learn about it. So it really worked out in my favor. I could see it not, but I felt like it was a low risk for me to have this steady source of income that would also build that like safety net for the jump.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
you used an acronym there for those that
Oh,
don't
sorry.
understand HELOC.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Okay. Home equity line of credit.
Mhm.
So yeah, living here at this house, I bought this house when I was 23. So I had some equity there, and it was just really nice. I took like the 50,000 out of that and just paid for that. And now it's all paid back and it's still giving me that income flow. So it made sense in that case. So that was one. And then another was I found this new way to do Airbnbs. It's called Airbnb arbitrage. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, we're so
So,
interested though.
so instead of paying, like buying a property, let's say a canal front property with a pool, maybe $500,000 in Florida, I pay $2,500 a month rent, and then they let me sublet it as an Airbnb. So that I put $5,000 down into that, and now that's bringing me monthly income. And it's all managed. Like, they set up all the systems for me. They even did the design for it. Like, so I guess what I'm kind of seeing a pattern here is that I'll find someone who knows what they're doing. I'll have them teach me what they just enough to like I can really oversee it, make sure that it's running right, and then I'll hire the one that knows what they're doing to actually do it. So that was two of them. And then a third one is I have an e-commerce site, which
Okay.
we sell supplements and clothing. And I hired a firm to create our shop, create our products, and we drop ship. So I don't do anything. It all gets mailed for me. And that was a whole other firm that I hired, and it cost, I think, like $6,000 to get started. And then I just went in and designed like the customized things the way that I liked. And then within 2 weeks, the store was up and running, and it's still running now. So
Wow.
I
low
love it.
overhead, just like you get to be creative, you get to like design things you want. It's been, that one's gone really well. So it's like, maybe it's not just one big thing, although some people are better if they just pick one and put everything into it and like really focus. For me, I'm like, they call it a multi-potentialite. Like
Yes.
yeah, I get excited about many different things, and I need to put it in all the places. So it might be overwhelming thinking about all that I have going on for some.
We know several multi-potentialites.
Yes. And our really good friend that was on the show last week is the one that introduced me to the concept of a multi-potentialite.
Oh, yeah.
And Jen Jones Donatelli, yeah, introduced me, and there's a whole book about it and everything. But the question that's going on while you're talking, and I'm like super impressed and wanting to be you all day long, Shelly, is what if I fail? What if it goes bad? Oh, I'm imagining the disaster scenarios in my mind, not because I don't think I'm capable, but because I don't know everything that you're talking about. I'm thinking about all the different spots that are going to be really difficult. What would you tell other women that have that same track going on in their inner critic?
So that's why when I choose to invest in something or to start something, is that one, it has to be something I'm really passionate about, because I feel like if you're passionate about it, you're going to do so much better, even if you don't know what you're doing. Like that passion just carries you so much further. And then secondly is I've chosen things that have a low barriers to entry. So like with the Airbnb, okay, $5,000. Are you going to be okay if that fails? I think you are. Like you can regroup after that, find, what you did wrong or what. And then, the third thing is to really vet, who you're hiring to help you, and just really talk to them, get to know them, make sure that you're in alignment with, the way they do business. And so, yeah, it could still go wrong for me at any point, but having that groundwork, and then also the fact that I have a few things lined up so that I can fall back on if I need to. Those are my tips in that department.
Yeah.
So as always, we encourage people to submit comments or questions. If you're listening and joining us now, say hello. And if you're watching on the replay, we are still listening. So send us comments or questions. And Shelly, I think one of the things that I was hoping we could touch on is the idea that, okay, yeah, I feel miserable, but better this than, the unknown.
Right. That was a big hurdle for me. And it's one of the reasons that a cancer diagnosis was one of the best things that happened to me, because I myself, I couldn't force myself out of that situation without that catalyst. So I'm grateful for it. But I think, now that I have hindsight, and I can share, maybe help people to get past that on their own, is that now that I have this freedom, I can't imagine ever working for anyone else ever again. Like, and I would take a 50% pay cut to feel this free to do what I want to do, because I've been faced with my mortality. I, may not have 8 years in me or whatever. And it's like, how cool is it that I can travel when I want? I can do what I want. Everything that I've chosen, I can do from anywhere. I can live life the way that I want to live it, so that when I get to the end, I can like say, yes, I wasn't stuck behind a computer at someone's desk. I wasn't wasting away hours and years of my life on someone else's dream.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. So talk to us a little bit about your background. I don't know how much you're comfortable sharing, but how did you get to where you are to begin with? What was your upbringing like? Like what kind of brought you to this place of saying, I trust myself to do what I need to do, and if it fails, don't worry, I have options.
Okay. I do have a very unique background. So I was, where to begin? I had a rough childhood. My mom was a single mother of three, and she was a victim of very severe physical abuse. And my mother and I escaped when I was a baby. I was like 3 or 4, and we hitchhiked all the way from South Carolina to Florida, eating berries and nuts on the way to survive, to get away from this maniac ex-husband of hers. And then she ended up having 2 more children, and their father was also not good. And so she had PTSD, very severe, which led to addiction. And so at a young age, I was taking care of my brother and my sister. And it came to a point where I ended up leaving home at 15, because I was taking care of my siblings, and she came home drunk and was not okay with it. She wanted to have I'm the mom, and it became physical. So I left, and not long after, my sister got pregnant. She was 12 when she got pregnant. And so the state took away my brother and sister and put them in foster homes. So I got my stuff together, and so that when I turned 18, I could adopt them and get them out of foster care. So I ended up raising them, and then while going to school and working 4 jobs. So I think, although that was a tragic background, it also taught me survival, and I'll do what it takes. I have this little bit of safety net inside, because I know how to survive being poor. I mean, I was homeless. I've been to the very worst, and it's not as bad as it sounds. Like, I know that sounds insane, but I was raising 3 children on $15,000 a month, and we ate just fine. And it's like, I know that I have this capability, maybe not in today's economy. It's a little rougher right now,
Yeah.
but I just know what I'm capable of, and I'm a survivor. And so I think that a lot of people who've had it very easy upbringing it's kind of been a disservice to them because it's scary to jump out on your own, without ever having shown yourself that you can do the hard things.
Yeah. And I think these little steps can get you there, right? Like maybe you didn't have um much adversity growing up, or maybe things have come easy to you up until this point. But if you're at a point where you're questioning, then now's the time to dig in and figure out who you are and where that inner safety net lives in your body, and then operate from there. Because I do agree, we often think that what we've been told, right, which is get a job, stay
Mhm.
there, get health insurance, and then retire is the American dream. But maybe that's not really the
Yeah.
American dream, and let's redefine it for ourselves.
Yes. And also I don't want to I don't know how to I don't want to seem trite. I realize that there are women out there, they have children they have to take care of. They
Sure.
have a whole financial, much larger responsibility than I. So it's not an easy.
Shelly was saying it's not easy. We'll wait for her connection to bring her back up. But
Yeah.
wow,
It,
Sandra, my gosh, what a amazing.
yeah, it's incredible. Um, and what I really appreciate about Shelley's story is one, a true sense of commitment and responsibility, but also an understanding and appreciation of um, I had choices and I made choices. And as a result of those choices, I've learned and grown, and I've learned to trust myself, and I know where my limits are. And there's not any kind of excuses, right? It's like, yeah. But Shelly, welcome back.
Sorry,
Technical
that was
issues. It's our day. It's our day for
It
technical
happens.
issues. But yeah, I don't know if you want to go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I know that I don't want to make it seem oversimplified. I don't want it to seem like it's easy. It will be probably one of the hardest things that anyone does, because that is your whole, your career is what puts food on the table. And to it's a scary thought to endanger that or to jump off into nowhere. And that's why I'm encouraging people to like look into, while you have this job, like consider it now your investment partner. It is helping you to like set up whatever it is that you really want to do. And so like learn what you can from it, get what education you can, put savings away while you can, and then just use it as a resource to help you set up what you really want. And it may not be fast and it will be scary, but it is so worth it.
I think one of the things that's important in what you've been talking about, Shelley, is um, you know trauma is a really real thing that affects many individuals, not just the person that's in the situation, but
Yeah.
everybody around it. And then it continues to impact you as you live your life. And that is a whole topic all on its own. There's also the issue of, you know, um, uh, economics, right? We are having to make choices that impact not just ourselves but those that depend on us, and that it also involves risk. It involves risk to stay. It also involves risk to leave. Um, but I think the thing that's getting lost sometimes, I know for myself it was definitely lost when I was going through this, is um, it's not about having it tomorrow.
Mhm.
Sometimes, right, there are stepping stones that you can take that are moving you in the direction. I know myself, I just wanted to leave and find something that would pay me what I was earning and that I felt happy about or happier about. But there are steps that you can take that move you in that direction to it. You can have a long view of it rather than tomorrow.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every little challenge, it's kind of like with my background in powerlifting, I think also helped, because if you fail, you just get up and do it again. And you start to have this identity shift that I'm someone who does hard things and enjoys it. And like that I get stronger from it. I learn from it, even if you fail. And it's something that just takes reps. And if you don't push yourself into that direction, you'll never get those reps.
Mm, such good advice. I think that that is how confidence is built. It's these little tiny steps. It's not the lack of failure, but it's the willingness to try again and go for it again and repeat it, even though you're not sure you're doing it right, until you're like, okay, this feels right. This is the version that I like for myself. And this is the piece I can take going forward.
Yeah. And the times when I do fail, like in business ventures or whatever, to me, that's as if I were paying for education. That was me putting money into my college fund, because this is something I learned that I would never have learned in school. So like, I just chalk that up to education and then move on. Don't beat myself up about it.
Yeah. And we're in this time where information is so readily available, right? You
Mhm.
can throw on YouTube or do a great Google search, use an AI large language model to help you learn something that you don't know anything about.
Exactly. And that's all that I did. I just, so much AI putting me into different directions and like, okay, what's the best firm that I can work with to do XYZ? Even recently, like I'm working on a whole new development because of my cancer journey. I actually had a very interesting development through it. Like, so in 2022 was when I got my stage 4 diagnosis. I went through a holistic and allopathic treatment together, integrative, and within 3 months, completely gone, everything. And it was miraculous, really. And so every day I have people calling me for advice and like, I have cancer. What was your diet like? What was this like? Whatever. So like, I just volunteer to help because I really am passionate about helping people through something that's so terrifying. But it's funny, it lent me to, I love supplements and peptides and all the natural things that you can do that aren't like drugs or
Right.
surgeries or whatever. And so I got approached by a peptide company that was like, if people want to sign up to promote these peptides, they'll get paid. Like, so let's say if you go to your holistic oncologist and they want to prescribe peptides, you can set them up on this platform, and then everything they order for their patients, you will get paid for. And I'm like, that's pretty simple. I don't have to pay anything or do anything. Nope, that's it. So like now I have this platform where if anyone wants to go do that, I can just sign them up under me, and then we both get paid for the doctor office just ordering what they need anyway. So stuff like that, just keeping an open mind about, okay, that's an opportunity. Why not have another income stream? Like it makes sense. I don't have to pay anything out.
Right. Yeah. And affiliate, it's affiliate marketing, right? It's like a
Yeah.
major core principle of marketing. And it's more common now than ever before. And people come to you as an expert because you had this experience, you openly talk about it, and then it just gives you an opportunity to help them get what they need
Yeah.
by just referral because you're already a trusted source of information.
hmm
Yeah. I love that. And I love that you're just thinking outside of the box. And so do you take every call? Are you like the yes person that always answers the phone, Shelly, and like talks with people about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
spent a good amount of time talking people through. When you get that call that you've been diagnosed, it is really traumatic. And so I'm actually certified as a life coach. Thankfully, I got that somewhere along the line of learning. So it's nice to just make a little bit of an impact, even if it's just helping carry them through that initial part where they're processing and adjusting to this huge news. Even if
Yes.
I can't, like, I actually have this whole bunch of doctors that are amazing that I can push them to, like I have meal plans and all this stuff that I can help them with, including like cancer friendly workouts, because, your diet has to change if you have tumors, and you can't be going crazy training because now, it's just, there's a whole science to all of it. And I kind of just fell into it. And the desire to help people is what pushes that one along.
That's beautiful. Mm.
So it sounds like I have a very busy day, I'm sure. But the cool thing about most of these is they're on autopilot, like So what takes up the most of my time probably is just talking to people who just got diagnosed. That's probably most of it, which I can do from anywhere, thankfully.
Yes.
So for people who are battling a diagnosis, or who are facing a diagnosis, not battling, but facing, what would you suggest? Where would they start?
I would start with really evaluating the oncologist that you've been placed with randomly. You know, like, is this the doctor for you? You really have to build a team around you that you trust, that you know uh, is very invested in your health. Because I had to go through a couple at first that just weren't a good fit for me. And it wasn't even necessarily that they didn't know what they were doing. It's more of their outlook. Like the first oncologist told me, so basically, we're going to just try different drugs. The cancer will find the way around it until you eventually die.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
all right, well, you're not the doctor for me.
Wow.
So I went to the next one, and he's like, oh, we're going to treat this like diabetes. You know, we're just going to keep medicating you, keep you in your good zone, keep you feeling good. You know, we'll switch it up if we need to, but you have a lot of life ahead of you. I'm like, you're my guy. You know, like, so it's not necessarily even if they are know what they're doing as much. I mean, because I'm sure they all have this baseline of knowledge that's important, but are they compatible with your outlook and the way that you want to handle it? Like for me, it was a challenge that I was excited to take on. And I know that sounds insane, but I was like, I really want to fight this well and show, like, learn and see how I can help other people fight it well. And he was right there with me on it. And he was willing to work with my holistic oncologist, which is super important because most oncologists are just like, no, if you're doing anything else besides this, I don't want to work with you. So I'd say the first step is just building a really good team that'll work together.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, thoughts around well-meaning, well-intentioned friends, family.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is that the question, Sandra?
Yeah. I know Shelly's laughing, so I know she knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So are you asking how to deal with them or okay, yeah. It's
Or
funny.
not even just how to deal with them, but they come out of the woodwork, right? And
It's funny. They either come out of the woodwork or they disappear like completely.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I thought we were really close, but they can't go near it because it terrifies them, you know. So yeah, you never know how someone's going to react. And the ones that are like the closest sometimes react the worst because it's hitting them harder. But then you just have random, I mean, people from like elementary school reaching out to me and sending me their advice and
Yes.
and I guess the best thing is my advice would be just consider their intentions, you know, and it's not necessarily they're not trying to hurt you. They're not they're just trying to do the best they can and most people have no idea how to respond to the situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Sandra always talks about projection. And I feel like when something like that happens, sometimes it's a projection. They're projecting onto you how they would feel about it. And yeah, taking that into account, I think is so generous, even though you were going through a big, big life change yourself.
Oh yeah.
I think too, Shelly, if you could offer some insights to those people who feel compelled, pushed, intrigued to reach out to somebody who's received a diagnosis or they know is going through this. What is the best way to handle that situation if you're the person, not that's been diagnosed, but the person who wants to reach out?
Well, I've been very lucky to have some people that have gone above and beyond and like blown me away with the amount of support. And I wouldn't expect that from everyone. Like I've had like my whole gym got together and made t-shirts to do fundraising for me. And like there's a picture of like 40 of them all wearing the shirts. And that was so that I have money to go to this natural healing center and like just stuff like that. You're not expected to do all that. Sure, if you want to take part in that or whatever, great. But just showing up, like being there, just and it doesn't need to be like, oh, let's have a 4-hour conversation. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It can even just be a note, or, one of my friends sent me a card every week as I was going through that, a different card every week. And it would just be like, you got this, or you're doing great, whatever. And it was just like so thoughtful. So it doesn't have to be anything big, I guess. Just show that you care in some way, whatever way is you, because it needs to be authentic to you. Like, don't do something that's outside of your character, I guess I should say.
I think, yes, I love that. And I think the one thing that I would suggest, and maybe get your feedback, is know the person that you're reaching out to, and whether, however it is that you're reaching out, is appropriate. I've had a number of friends who have been going through a diagnosis, and in some cases cancer, in some cases other situations. And, they'll get randomly stopped and asked questions or given advice, or even put in a situation where they're trying to get on with their life or move in a different direction. And all of a sudden, there's this wash of emotion that's coming over them because people are confronting them. So, maybe speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think part of it would be analyze how they're coming forward with it. Like for me, I got to a point where I was okay sharing it publicly. I put it on Facebook. It was a whole thing. And so me putting that out there says, okay, I'm willing to talk about this. I'm willing to share and whatever. But there's some people who will never put it out there. So maybe you find out another way, or through someone else or whatever. Okay, maybe they're not ready to take this big jump and talk about it publicly and just dive in, like, because they have a lot of processing to do. So when they're ready, but I would still like say, I'm here if you want to talk, when you want to talk, if you need anything, if you need a ride to anything. That was one really cool support. My fiance, every time I would go to an oncology appointment, he would leave work and meet me at the oncologist. And it was just a surprise every time. And like, because we share a calendar, he knows when I'm going to be there. But I was like, you don't have to be here. I'm just having a blood test. Well, you're not doing it alone. Like, so sometimes it's just having someone, or when I was doing infusions, having someone to sit with while you do that. That's just, it doesn't take any money, but just time.
Yeah.
Presence.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And like, let them talk if they want to talk about it. But I don't know that a lot of questions at first is good, unless you know the person and that they're going to be fine with it. Sometimes the questions can be disarming, and it's weird things. Sometimes I've had it where it's like accusatory, like,
Yes.
what did you take? What is your diet like? Do you drink Coke? Stuff like that. I'm like, okay, walk away. Like, this is no fun for me. But I think all of it really is rooted in fear, and they want to ask these questions because they want to see how can they prevent this for themselves. And so, like, I give them that grace, but sometimes it's quite uncomfortable.
Yes.
It's gotta be. Yeah. And I think it's a good reminder for us, if we would ever face that ourselves, to remember, I mean, Shelly, the fact that you have grace for other people approaching you in maybe a way that's not so great for you, is very, very, very generous. So you must be a really good person to be able to do that. And then the other piece, I love that reminder that, can you just be there? Can you sit with someone? Can you provide a ride, right? It doesn't have to be like this enormous grand gesture, but just something that says, I'm here and I support you and I care about you, even if I don't know the right thing to do right now.
Right.
Yeah. So helpful. So what can people do if they are interested in hearing more about you, or maybe talking with you about one of the opportunities that you have for them?
So shellycannon.com is my website. It has all links to everything, the podcasts I've been on, and I've done a couple of like women's empowerment seminars, stuff like that. So you can find all that on there. And then there's a little message at the bottom where you can like sign up for a newsletter or reach out to me.
I love that. Sounds good. How often do you send your newsletter out?
So that's a good question.
That's an entrepreneur question, and that's the entrepreneur answer. Like, that's a good question.
Quite sporadic, to be honest.
That would be me too.
Multi-potentialite thing. It's just going to happen when it happens.
When the inspiration hits is
Yes.
maybe the answer you could choose on that one, Shelly.
Right. Exactly.
I've lost track of the number of people who say you need to be like weekly, bi-weekly, like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I remember to do it twice a year, I'm doing good.
Exactly.
As you've heard, so we can sign up for inspiration in the moment when it comes, and it'll be really good.
Yes. At some point, you're going to get some.
I love that. Great. Okay, Shelly. So we will go ahead and check out the resources on your website and get in contact with you. What's some last piece of advice you'd love the audience to hear about finding your calling and breaking free of that illusion of safety?
So one thing I'm really big about is like embodiment and feeling in your body whether something's right for you or not. So when I was sitting in that car about to go into work and my chest felt heavy and I did not want to go there, that was when I should have been like, okay, something needs to change here. You really need to prioritize what your body's trying to tell you. You need to listen, be present with it. And because if I had listened, then who knows if I would have avoided whatever diagnosis I had, because it is a combination of a lot of things. But one of the biggest is always going to be stress. And if you're not moving in alignment or doing something you're inspired to do, the stress just is going to build. And if you don't allow it to if you don't fix it, then your body is going to tell you one way or another. So,
Yes.
And then as you're evaluating these new opportunities, these jobs, whatever, how does it feel? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel heavy? Does it, just really start to tune in and listen, because we as women especially have such good intuition and it wants to talk to us, and we keep pushing it away because we're doing what's best or what's right or what we're obligated to do. And it's like, wait a minute, let's just tune in and listen and put all that other expectations of society to the side and then just listen. That's it.
Perfect.
Such words of
Beautiful.
wisdom. Thank you.
Oh, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
That's a wrap on this episode of Exposing the Hidden Reality. If something hit home or made you snort laugh, tell us.
Seriously, we love hearing from you. Message us, tag us, or send us coffee. We love coffee.
And hey, leave a review. It helps more women find us and boosts our egos.
Which are fragile, suspiciously fragile.
True. All right, until next time, keep questioning, keep growing, and if all else fails,
Blame the dog.
See you next time. Wait, did we stop recording?
No, we're still here. You have to push the red button.
Red button. Cool. Just eternal podcast.
Bye.
Bye.